Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome if you're new. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get right into today's video. So for the start of it, I do have an interesting package I'm going to be unboxing. This is from a new brand that I'm gonna try. She reached out to me over on Instagram, and this is the brand Kairose. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but I just love everything about what she sent, the products, how they work. So I cannot wait to get into it and show you everything. Here I am just taking everything out of the box. She was so generous for like the first shipment of items. Like usually it's just like a couple things here and there, but she definitely hooked me up with so many products. So if you're watching this, I thank you so much, and I loved everything. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into all of the items that I'm going to be using, trying out. And also, if you do like anything you see, I do have a code for her website, so you can get a discount using my code, which is KEY. I'll have it on the screen, link it down below, along with her website as well. So the first thing we got are some nail glue, which is essential, of course, for gluing on nail tips. And she did send me 3. I love how this glue was pink, because usually glue is just like clear. I just think the pink is just so much funner. Getting into the gel products here. Of course, we have, I think this one is going to be the top coat, the diamond top coat. And when I applied this to my nails once I was done with my design, I love this freaking top coat so much. It was so clear, like it was just so glossy, and the consistency is amazing. I love when the consistency isn't like super thick like a builder gel, and it's also not like super watery. I just feel like watery top coats don't really give a good shine to it. Sometimes they create like the little bubbles on them, so I feel like this top coat was perfect. More gel products here. She did include the classic black and classic white, which I feel like if you don't have a black and white gel polish in your collection, you definitely need to get one, because those are essentials, especially when doing nail art. So yeah, I'm just going to show you quickly the consistency of these gels. Again, I think they're so great, and I did end up using the white gel polish for my design, so of course you'll see how it works for how I used it. And yeah, like I said, I just love everything about it. The next items I'm going to show are more essentials. These are going to be the nail tips. So she did send me 2 different types of her tips. She sent me the 2x square tips, no curve, and this box comes with 500 pieces of nail tips. They're really great quality. I love that they are not C-curve. They're really long. They're not like 3XL. The box says 2XL, but they are still really long. So if you do have these, you can cut them down to your length, or you can just wear them as they are if you are into the longer nails. The second box are 2XL coffin tips, no C-curve, which are the same as the ones I just showed, but of course they are in the coffin shape. And again, the quality is just really great. I think my next design, I am going to use these products again, but I'm going to use the coffin tips, because later in the video you will see that I use the square tips, and I just really like these products a lot. Like, it's just so exciting to get new things. Like, it's just so refreshing to get a new brand and just work with all new products. I just fall in love so much. So now that we got those out the way, it is time to get into the acrylics. Like I said, she definitely hooked me up with so many acrylics. But quickly I'm going to show you what the packaging looks like. She has this like gradient circle aura type of design on the tops, which is really cute. It has her brand name printed out in a cute little font, and then if you flip the jars over, you do have the swatch underneath, so you know what colors you are getting. I think the ones I have on the top are more like cover nude base colors, and then also underneath these I do have this spring collection here, which are a bunch of glitters, and I cannot wait to get into. So I just went ahead and sorted everything out. I put down my paper towel. I went and got some monomer. I think the monomer I'm using is from Not Polish. This is just like a universal monomer that I use pretty much for every brand that don't have like a monomer that goes with the acrylics. So that's just what I'm using to swatch them, and what I'm going to be using to actually do my application. And yeah, quickly I'm just going to go ahead and show you what these swatches look like. one of the few things I look for when I'm swatching powders is this powder going to polymerize fast or slow? And I think this one was at a great speed. I don't think it like took super long. It's just like the normal amount for the polymerization process to happen. And of course, sometimes you do see me like tapping my brush. That is just to speed up the process since I am recording. And it does take like a lot of time editing, trying to like do everything, so I do try to speed it up a little bit, but for the most part they are great with the polymerization process. Another thing I look for is this product like really chalky or is it smooth? Sometimes you can get like I can't think, like marbling. Sometimes you can really see that in the swatch a lot with like cheaper acrylics, and that is what I look for, because if it is going to like marble on the bead, like if it just look marbly on the bead, you know it's not going to be a great application process at all, and that just kind of gives like the overall quality of the acrylic also, in my opinion. However, if that does happen, you can just go ahead and put the top back on, give it a little shake, give it a stir, and then swatch them again to see if it happens. And if so, I just don't think it's gonna be a great powder, but these I had no problems with that happening. So just from the first swatches, I do think these are great quality acrylics, and they look so good. Like I love these shades, especially that last one with the glitter, that really bubblegum pink. So stunning. Now that I got the first selection out of the way, I am going to go ahead and switch over to this glitter collection. I did record this video like last week, and I haven't really been posting, being active for a week, so I kind of forgot what it was, even though it just happened. It went by kind of fast. But one thing I did notice with this collection, the jars were a little bit smaller than the core colors, like the nudes and bases and stuff. Which is no problem. I feel like with these glitters you won't really use a lot anyway, because you will have to encapsulate them, so it's not like you have to go and build up all of the thickness of the nails using these, so that should be no problem. But this is a really mesmerizing spring glitter collection, and when I was swatching these powders, I just immediately got like spring garden with like the fairy garden. Like that is definitely what this gave, and I wanted to embody that in the nail design that I did. So of course you will see that happening once I do my application. But yeah, I just love all of these acrylics. They were so glittery. I love glitter acrylics, and they're just so mesmerizing to look at. I think this is my favorite part of the entire video, actually, just seeing these powders be laid down. I felt like they were really great shades. Like you get orange shades, purples, greens, blues, pinks. There's definitely a lot of variety in this collection. Of course, I will have it linked down below if you guys want to check them out. And remember, I do have a discount code if you find anything interesting enough that you would like to purchase yourself. Definitely check it out. Like I said, I did love this brand a lot for my first time using it. And I'm just gonna let you guys finish watching the swatching process. I am almost done, only like a few more acrylics. So yeah, I'll just let you guys watch them, and I will come back once I'm finished. So like I said, that did not take long at all, but this is how the rest of the acrylics are looking. All of them swatched. Like I said, this glitter collection is such a mesmerizing one. I really like it. You guys definitely need it, and hopefully I will be able to use it a lot for some spring nail designs. Like I said, I do plan to use them again in my next video, so definitely stay tuned for that if you would like to see what I come up with. And now I'm getting into the nails part. I am going to do a little bit of nail prep. Even though I don't really need a lot, I'm just going to push back my cuticles. And if I remember correctly, I'm also going to take a nail drill and a cuticle bit, work that around my cuticle to lift up the cuticles from my nail plate, lift up the eponychium. And then I'm also going to go in with some cuticle nippers to cut down my cuticles. And this is basically just the normal type of nail prep that I like to do. And of course, lastly, I did go ahead and use a mini mandrel to go around my cuticles once again, and then also file over the surface of my nails to remove that surface shine. Then I'm going to go in with some alcohol and a lint-free wipe to remove all of that dust, and then we can go ahead and get into applying the nail tips. So one thing I did want to say when applying this, I do have on a peel-off base. Because I create so much content, you guys know the story. But usually, since I have been using matte top coat for my peel off base, any nail glue that I would use just will not stick. So anytime I am using my matte top coat with the peel off base, I do have to use like gel products and cure my tips on. But I wanted to try out this nail glue, and I had no problems whatsoever with trying to get these adhered to the matte top coat on top. So definitely, I think this is a really great nail glue, and I was so happy that I didn't have to pull out my curing light and just do all of that, because sometimes I feel like just the nail glue is a lot easier. So that was definitely a plus. And the strength of this nail glue was definitely tested, so I know if it's gonna stick to this matte top coat for my peel off base, I know for sure it's gonna stick with no problem when it comes to an actually prep nail. I did go ahead and cut them down a little bit. I did want these nails to stay a little bit long, so this is just the length I went for. And these are the acrylics that I'm going to be using: Perfect Nude, Bad Enough, and Rosy Wisteria. And like I said, I did want to go for like a spring a really glittery like spring design garden. Like I don't know, I can't really explain it, but I feel like I could definitely find the pictures, like the inspo on Pinterest, like the aesthetic I'm talking about. But that's kind of what I was going for without doing too much, because I didn't want to mess up this nail set and then have to redo it again. So I kind of played it simple, but also I did like try my best to like embody the vision I had for it, if that makes sense. So I am starting off with this perfect nude, and I'm going in on my middle finger, and I'm gonna do a solid application. For this first bead, I did have too much monomer in my brush, which is why it did look a little bit runny. When working with new brands, it's best to like not work with too much at once, because you do have to figure out how the product works. And I say this every time I am using a new brand, because every brand is different. The formulas, the ratio of like color and powder, like everything is different. So you just have to like work with it a couple times and try to figure out what is best for you when using them. So for the next bead, I did try to like dry my brush off a little bit more. It did still feel a little bit runny, like here on the sides you can kind of see I did have to wipe it away, but it wasn't unmanageable to the point where it was just like flooding everywhere. It was definitely controllable. So for that, I do like the consistency of this acrylic. I just think personally I do have to like just be a little bit more patient, let the product set up a little bit, or even try drying out a little bit more monomer in my brush once I see that it's polymerized. Yeah, pretty much these are really great acrylics. I had no problems with the marbling whatsoever, and they are pretty smooth. Like they were really easy to smooth out. I'm not gonna go in with like a lot of acrylic because I am gonna be encapsulating them. So to save product, I'm just gonna do the base. So once I have that nail covered, I'm gonna switch over to my next nail. So for my next nail, I am going to do an acrylic French. I struggle with these so much, and I just wasn't looking forward to doing this at all, but there wasn't really a way I could use this and also use like the acrylic glitter I'm going to put at the tip. Like there was just no other way I could do this without having to scope out the smile line myself using the base shade. So I was like, you know what, I'll just give it a try. If not, then I'll just figure out something else. So what I like to do is make sure that I have a thick enough bead on my brush. I think the key to this is making sure that it's not thin, because if it's thin, you won't really know like where to work. If that makes sense. Like if it's thicker, you have a lot more time to like, or not necessarily time, but like you will be able to see where you need to like mold it, and especially around the smile line area, you'll be able to use the brush and fix it and stuff like that. So you can basically see what I was doing, like how thick it is and how easy it was to just like use the side of my brush to scope it out, make it a little bit rounder, taper this part in and stuff like that. So yeah, it wasn't perfect, but I definitely think I did a pretty good job. I think I did a little bit more to that nail off camera, but I am gonna let that dry first before I go in for the shaping process. I'm gonna move on to my next nail. And I'm gonna be using this really pink shade here. This is such a gorgeous shade. I would love to do like an all nail set using this one color with like a clear tips at the end. That would be so gorgeous. But for this one, I am gonna do an ombre using this shade on my index nail, and I'm gonna take that glitter to fill in the tip. I think this was one of my favorite nails, and I love the way it turned out because the glitter and this color acrylic matched so perfectly, and that was the reason why I did pair these two together, because once I was looking at my swatches, they were just so like, I just could not think of any other combination. Like they was just so pretty, I had to. And you guys will see once I add on my glitter, like it was just such a perfect combination. Yeah, I'm just gonna start the glitter at the tip and then brush it up to how far I want it to ombre to my cuticle area, which is not gonna be far, but I do make sure to add most of that glitter towards the tip of my nail. And then once I'm satisfied with how it looks, I will be moving on to my pinky, and that nail is going to be a full glitter. So I'll just go ahead and let you guys watch the rest of this play out, and once I'm done, I will be back. So I did encapsulate using some clear acrylic. I did record my filing and everything, but I just decided not to show it after this video already being over 30 minutes. I just felt like it wasn't really necessary to show, so I did just go ahead and skip it. And now you see me just wiping away all of that dust from my nails. I'm gonna go back in with this color here, and I'm gonna be doing some acrylic 3D flowers over on my my middle nail. And I definitely love the idea. Like I said, I did want like a spring, like glittery spring type of look, so of course I had to include some flowers. And at first I thought I was gonna like just go the easy way and just use like the little flower charms that I have, but for one, I didn't have anything to exactly match this shade of pink. And also I just wanted to like use these acrylics more. I do like how the flowers turned out. Unfortunately, I think they weren't really the best because of my brush. Like as you guys can see, my brush is just like way too flared out. It's super big to where I couldn't really like get the point in the little spaces how I wanted, seriously. And I think this is like my only 3D nail art brush, so I just had to work with what I had. But so yeah, I'm just really trying my best to make these flowers come to a center point and have the petals looking like round and how I want them to be. But definitely I would suggest that you get a brush if you were to do 3D flowers on your nails this spring. I would suggest that you get like a more skinnier brush, because like this one, if you have a brush that's too flared out and it just doesn't go to like that point, you won't be able to get the petals to look exactly how you want. But yeah, that's just my opinion. But as you can see, it is coming together a little bit here. I did some going up, and now I'm going to do some like going down towards the tip of my nail, and I think I'm just gonna do 2 here. But yeah, I don't think they were terrible. Definitely could have turned out better, but I don't think they were terrible. So once I finish that, I am going to let those acrylic petals dry. I am pulling out a few things here that I'm going to be putting onto my nails. I did have those gold caviar beads. I thought I was going to use those, but I didn't end up using them. But I do have like some charms that I got from Temu, some rhinestones, some AB rhinestones, and also a pink set. I will have these linked down below if I can find the links for them again. In the first placement of rhinestones, I am going to be putting some on these flower petals like in the center just to add some bling to it, and I love the way they turned out. The rhinestones definitely make these flowers turn out and look a lot better. After I have them placed, of course I'm going to give them a little flash cure and then move on to the next nail. So here's where I did grab the classic white. I'm just putting some on the top and taking a liner brush, I'm gonna outline my smile line for that acrylic French that I did. I think the acrylic French did turn out pretty nice, but for some reason once I'm finished I always just feel like I should outline it because it's not as perfect as I want it to be. And what I end up doing to this nail, the outline wasn't really needed anyway because it ended up getting covered up by charms. So this was kind of pointless to do, but I didn't know it at the time. I just added more charms than I originally thought I was. But you know, it's okay. Once I did cure on the white, I'm going to be applying the top coat to my entire nail, giving that a cure, and you guys will see how I apply the charms. For this placement of charms, it wasn't really like I knew the idea I wanted for it, but I didn't know exactly what charms I was gonna place. So as I was doing this, it was just like coming to me as I was doing it. So this part was, I guess you can say, pretty random, not really planned at all, and I did like how it turned out. I think the placement was really great. So for this nail, I had no idea what I wanted to do. But there's like this really design or like trend that I see a lot with spring nails, and it's just like little swirls and dots. It definitely gives like the vibe for like I said, I don't know how to explain it, but I just imagine like spring summer garden. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like these little swirls definitely match so perfectly. So for this one, I am just doing some random swirls, and then after I do my swirls using this white gel polish, I am gonna go in with a dotting tool and add on some dots along some of the lines. And I didn't really know exactly how I wanted this to go. Like I said, this was just like made up on the spot. I definitely, if I knew how much I would like it, I would have put a little bit more like neatness into this first nail. I feel like this one wasn't as neat as the other ones because I wasn't really sure if I actually wanted to do it or not. So for this one, once I finish placing my dots, I am going to give this a cure, and I'm going to do that same thing over on my pinky nail, but I think that one turned out so much better because I then knew, you know, that's what I wanted to do. I'm also going to do that on my thumb. I can't remember if I showed it on camera, but I will just go ahead and let the rest of this part play out since it is pretty simple, easy, and I know you guys are probably tired of me talking already, and if you are enjoying today's video so far, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, or leave a comment down below. Anything you do to interact with my channel definitely helps me out a lot, and I want to thank you guys in advance. And here's how the nails are looking so far. I did go ahead and add more rhinestones and pearls to the cuticle area of my middle nail where I have those 3D flowers. And I also went ahead and did the same design as my pinky and index over on my thumb. I thought I was going to show it, but apparently I didn't. But just so you know, it did turn out really great. And now that everything is nice and cured, I'm finally going to go in with the top coat, just top coat over everything. For the flowers, I didn't know if I wanted to top coat over the actual petals because I know sometimes like they add on the top coat first and then add on the flowers. Like I don't know how that process go, but it was just easier this way. Eventually I did end up adding top coat to the flowers because it was just a lot easier for me, and I did want them to be glossy, so I just went ahead and added top coat to my flower petals. And once I finished getting everything smoothed out, try not to have too much top coat like in the crevices of those areas. I did go ahead and apply top coat to my other nails as well. And then once I finish applying the top coat, I will go in for the cuticle oil, and I will be back to show you guys how the finished set looks. So after rubbing in my cuticle oil to re-nourish my cuticles, this is how the finished set looks. And I love the way this turned out. Like this is just so mesmerizing. It's definitely everything I wished for and like what I was picturing. I just love the spring vibe to it. I love those swirly lines. I don't know, it's just something about them that I really like. Let me know what you thought about today's set, guys. Also, I will have all of these products linked down below for you to check out. Like I said, I definitely love this brand a lot. The products were easy to work with, definitely beginner friendly. Also, I do know I did see her story like a week ago, and she did post it that they do have monomer. So hopefully I can get my hands on the monomer and test them out using her acrylics with them, and show you guys how that works. But yeah, I do have a discount code for this brand, which is key, or if not, I will go and find out and link it down below, have it down below for you guys to see. And yeah, let me know what you thought about these products. Let me know how you like my nail design. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.